Hey, George.
Hey, Domri.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
It's been a minute since we've done one of these, hasn't
It
it?
has, yeah, yeah.
Well, I wanted to take some time and do this a real meeting as opposed to one of the lives that we've done in the past, and really kind of do a recap of all the goodness that you pushed out in 2025, and then also talk about 2026. So, for those of you who don't know us, I'm Don Marie Elder from SIPPIO. I'm our COO and one of the original founders of SIPPIO back in 2019. We had our first release to market June 18th of 2019 and have grown year over year over year since then. And with me, I have George, who is our head of innovation and development. George has been with us how long now, George?
Since 2021, so over 4 years.
Over 4 years. Very good. And some of the things that George and his team have put out over time have been our voice panel, our partner portal, the phone push that we have in place for Zoom. We did a big launch last year for AI and Beacon. So we try to stay ahead of what our partners and customers need in order to make their phone and AI and additive services easy to implement, easy to activate, and then also easy to maintain over the long haul. So we'll probably be primarily talking to a partner audience today. If you're a customer, welcome. Apologize, but we'll probably be speaking to our partner audience mostly as we go through this. So what we have planned for you is to run through a few different things today after we get past the initial introduction and agenda. So we're going to go from here into the partner experience and all the things that we've done to really, really make this easy for you guys to increase your speed to revenue, as well as to lower your internal cogs of supporting your customer base and making sure that you're delivering great customer experiences. From there, we're going to talk about additive services going beyond just voice and voice in Teams, voice in Zoom, voice in WebEx, and give you a recap of everything that we have been doing this past year. And then we're going to look ahead into the future of 2026 and what George has on his roadmap for development and what we'll be pushing out. Along the way, we're going to show you 3 or 4 quick little features slash demos. So it won't be a big, long, in-depth demo of everything in the tool, but we'll show you certain things at certain times as we're talking about them. And then at the end, we've prepared a Q&A going through some of the questions that our sales team, our pre-sales team, and even our support team have gotten over the course of the year. Some things that we thought might be interesting rather than just answering them one-off, making sure that we broadly extend that information. And at the end, we will talk a little bit about how you can get more training and information, as well as support for your sales and marketing efforts. So, sounds good to you, George?
I like it. Let's do it.
All right, very good. So let's start off with kind of what was your goal in 2025? What was the rationale, the North Star, the philosophy, however you frame it in development? What was your main focus throughout 2025?
So for this year, our actually main goal or main focus was to build for speed and scale. We wanted to improve our automation so our partners are spending less time, ordering, activating, clicking, and spending more time actually selling. As much as we want our partners to be, using and living in the portal every day, we want that experience to be fast and easy so that they're not just, spending all day clicking through menus and doing admin work, but instead, concentrating on the things that matter, maximizing their revenue, getting their speed to scale, and increasing their ARPU.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I think increasing the speed to revenue is super important and
Yeah.
something we think about a lot at SIPPIO. So Lynn, let's talk a lot about the next section of the partner experience and what you have done with that. You know, we always put the partner first, the same way we put the API first. And I know that, you know, we deliver a great network. We have amazing stability, but that's kind of all of the back end, and people
Hmm.
expect that. They don't always see it, how our support and engineering team is working really, really hard to make sure that there's not any issues or problems. But I know that a lot of the front end and the roadmap that you've put out this year was really dedicated to this portal, making it super stable, super intuitive, as well as, you know, kind of helping with the back end mechanics.
Yeah.
So one of the main things that you pushed out that we had on the roadmap was the CPQ, which stands for Configure Price Quote, for those of you that don't know, and you launched a new engine. So tell me about the engine and what it's doing or why it's a benefit to us. I know we wrote a lot of checks for development, so let's talk about the benefit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the goal was to make not just ordering, but also quoting and creating proposals easy. As we know, it's not just, go in, order your product. We have to discuss with our partners, create proposals, and then convert those proposals into quotes and orders. So what we've done is we've redesigned the CPQ process to be a little bit easier, a little bit more intuitive. We've also added this new feature, which is actually going to be releasing this weekend. So it's a nice little sneak peek of what
Okay.
we call special quote. And essentially, what a special quote is you can go in and essentially register the deal that you're creating. So you can select the SKUs that you want, the price that you want to offer those SKUs at, number of seats. So let's say you have a customer that is committed to 1,000 seats or 1,000 lines, let's say within 6 months for our Voice Connect SKU. You can actually enter all that information into the portal, and after it's been, approved, any order that you place will automatically register that price, automatically keep track of those seats that you're ordered, so you can see exactly where you are in that deal, whether it's by time or by seats. So you can say that this particular customer has already purchased 500 seats, they have 500 left at this price. It might be a good time to go and renegotiate maybe more seats. So it really puts you in the driver's seat of every even potential deal before they even get into the portal.
Okay. Well, what I like about that, having run sales and marketing for a number of years, is everybody's always special. So it sounds like
Yeah,
we handle special now through the portal and not through spreadsheets and emails and
exactly.
questions and answers. And then remembering what we did when we have to go back and revisit it, it'll be there.
Yeah.
The other thing that you said that I kind of found intriguing as an executive is the what's left,
Hmm.
because the what's left is always the revenue that you're chasing that you want to bring to the forefront. So if that's something that they can visually see in the portal, that might be able to help with forecasting and
Exactly.
understanding what else they can see as low hanging fruit to kind of push the customer to get done and bring in. So
Yeah.
great. Okay. Are we going to show anything here or
Yeah, we can. Let me give you a quick peek of what it looks like. So, this is an order that's already been done. So we can see essentially this is what your, quote or proposal would look like. This is the view from inside the portal. Now, from here, we can do a couple of different things. We can download a CSV of this if you want to put it into any external system. You can even download a nice, ready to go PDF if you want to send this to your customer, for example. You can adjust your logo, add your notes or anything like that. Now, once the order is placed, we've made the actual activation of the order super easy as well. So you simply just come to your orders page. This will give you the rundown of the order. All you need to do is click Start Activation. And then from there, you can buy your new number, activate it. You can essentially go from, with our new system, you can go from placing the order to having an active line with dial tone, making phone calls in less than 5 minutes.
That's pretty amazing. I know that you've really worked on automating the back end with the downstream providers that we utilize. And I know that that's available in the US now. I might be
Yep.
jumping ahead for what we're supposed to be talking about, but I just want to kind of highlight it. You're planning to do some of this for what, Canada and the UK next? Is that right?
Yeah, Canada and UK are next on the list. As you said, we've already completely automated new number activation and porting for the US. We've actually completely overhauled it pretty recently. Porting now gives way more informational updates, so you essentially see what we see. You'll be fully up to date and up to speed on where your port is, at what point in the journey of the port, so you can plan, better ahead. We've also made the LOA automation is much easier and quicker as well. We've completely automated the LOA creation, not only LOA creation, but the getting the signatures and the accompanying documents for the LOA as well. What we've also done is completely redesigned number publishing, especially for Operator Connect. It's faster and smarter so that you're not hit with errors when trying to publish your numbers. The goal here is try to make the portal as self-serve as possible. So you don't need to be wasting time opening tickets, asking questions. You just, place your order, publish your numbers, off you go, sell to the next deal.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, LOA is basically letter of authorization. It's a document that most telco registries across the world require in order to pull your number from the existing carrier and push it over to SIPPIO when you are moving your services into our world. It's something that's known to be kind of tedious because you have to fill in all of the blanks. And if you miss one, the losing carrier, the person you're moving away from, can kick it back. And oftentimes these things become cyclical, that you
Yeah,
forgot to dot an I or cross the T. And we've really worked hard to take as much out of that as possible so that there's less human intervention, and we're having the tool set do the work so that you can get back to selling with it.
exactly. And from our tracking, at least in the US, we're seeing a real big drop in port rejections because, again, everything's now automated. So all the LOAs that are being sent out are standardized. There's less a chance for that port being rejected. So everything just goes much more faster.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're, not only working with us, but some of our competitors, I would definitely challenge you to look at, what is it taking you not only to sell something and provide great service, but how much time are you spending on it to get it done and make it right with your customer? And is there the ability to come to SIPPIO and really save a lot of time through the activation process with the automation that we're delivering and the seamless experience? So come talk to us if you haven't seen it lately. Let's move on and talk to delegated access. So I know that this is something our internal teams were super excited about for when we handle some of our TSD and agent and sub-agent customers directly, and we're managing those environments on behalf of the customer.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about what we've done there and what the benefit or the value is.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've really expanded our delegated access offering. So we're actually quite excited about this. So essentially what we've done is we took the voice panel, a tool we know and love that's very, very that's used every day. The voice panel was essentially mainly created for the end customer, for the user. Now, what we've done with delegated access is we've given either ourselves or even the managing partner the ability to actually use the voice panel on behalf of that customer. So if you have a customer that's not very technically inclined, they just want someone else to handle all that, day-to-day admin business when we're talking about either the Teams admin center or assigning numbers to users and creating voice routes and things like that. So what we've done is we've created the ability for you to do that on behalf of that customer. So not only can you do that with the voice panel, so setting up the customer from scratch, assigning their numbers and everything like that, But we've also taken the Teams Admin Center, which is fantastic. It's extremely powerful, but you really have to know your way around Teams Admin in order for you to, take advantage of its more advanced functions. So what we've done with SIPPIO Navigator is we launched a program that essentially puts an easier to use mask over the Teams admin. So essentially what you can do is with a couple of clicks, you can get access to your customers' Teams Admin Center, of course, with their consent. And from there, you can do essentially everything that you can do within Teams Admin, but it makes it a lot easier. So for example, you can create call flows using a wizard. You can assign users and groups very simply with just a couple of clicks. A lot of things that would require, multiple menus and multiple clicks, even some PowerShell in Teams Admin, we've now taken all of that away and made it as easy to use as if you were using, either your own, PSTN server, which we're all used to, and we're kind of showing our age here, but or if you're even a new user and you wanted to get, stuck in, it's a much easier environment to deal with.
Yeah, I know there's a couple of problems with the Microsoft admin tool. One is you have to be the admin, right?
Yeah.
And the admin isn't always the person that needs to administer some of these different, feature and functionality. Like maybe you want your front desk clerk to go ahead and add new users or
Yeah.
or park numbers or do whatever it is that they're looking to do. You can now give access and delegate that access. That's where the phrase comes from, right? To other people within an organization. And I think what's interesting about the feature and functionality available there is it's just so much more intuitive and
Hmm.
easy to understand, and you don't have to worry about, having a really skilled expert in the
Exactly.
Microsoft admin, and you don't have to be afraid that somebody is going to break something. I know some of the pre-sales and technical resources that we have are saying that creating an auto attendant and a call queue is so many less steps, and
Yeah.
they can just get through them quicker and easier and understand them better than in the admin tool. So all that navigator features and functionality, we're not going to get into it too much today, but I would encourage you to reach out to your SIPPIO Cam or our pre-sales team and get a full demo on it and access to it, because there's so much more that you can do with it than what you can do in the Microsoft admin tool. It's available
Absolutely.
to any customer and comes, embedded in our SKUs. So use it and really kind of increase your speed to just supporting customers and reacting to the MACDs and other things that they ask you to do on a daily, weekly, et cetera
Hmm.
basis. So, okay, very good. I want to see more of that though, George, when we have some time.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we've talked a lot about some of the work that you've done in our portal to
Hmm.
make the CPQ more streamlined, as well as to streamline the onboarding and the day-to-day type of ongoing management. But now let's talk about not just voice, but
Hmm.
expanding beyond voice. This was something that's really changed over the 6.5 years since we started SIPPIO, where voice used to be known or thought of as a standalone system. You had your Cisco voice tool, or your Avaya voice tool, or Ring Central, what have you, and it was this thing over here. And now with the collaboration platforms like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, WebEx, voice is a feature of the
Hmm.
broader collaboration platform, which means that there's tons and tons of opportunity to add in other pieces: text messaging, AI insights, analytics, call recording. So you really have embraced that. And I just kind of wanted to understand what your thoughts are there and where kind of you're going with it in order to make these systems that were standalone into features in the platform and more accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, you hit the nail on the head where, voice is now, um, especially with these collaboration platforms, you not only need voice, you also need something for text messaging. You need something for reporting, analytics, especially as we get, in more, add more and more users to our platform. So what our goal was to be almost like a one-stop shop. So no matter if you need voice, if you need messaging, if you need analytics, reporting, AI, we have one system that you can access for everything. You don't need to, worry about multiple bills coming from 8 different companies or 5 different platforms that you have to learn to use. We have one platform, one plane of glass
Mhm.
that can accommodate all of these features. So it makes it a lot easier and quicker for you to activate those features, sell those features to your partners and customers, and when they do buy them, to activate them immediately with our automation right from within the portal. And then at the end of the month, you only get one bill. You don't have to worry about getting bills from all these different places. Then there's bundling opportunities, and I think it just makes our platform that much more attractive.
Yeah. Well, I like that because certainly economy of scale,
Yeah,
billing ease, but
exactly.
also making sure that you're getting a really good price point for what you're purchasing because
Yeah,
when they're features, you shouldn't have to have five standalone systems. So this kind of brings me into some of the other things that you've been working on, which is AI and reporting.
yeah,
And I want to be really specific about AI because I feel like in the industry, it's just this buzzword that everybody is, tossing everywhere. Microsoft Ignite is this week, and I think they said AI, 20 times in the opening statement. But what is that AI and what does it mean? So with the AI that we have put into our system, can you talk about what it is and what it specifically helps our partners to do?
of course. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, AI has taken over the world. I bought a washing machine last year, and my washing machine came with AI. So, I mean, at that point, it kind of becomes, like you said, just a buzz term. We don't want to be like that. We want to use AI smartly. We want to curate that AI experience to make sure that our partners are getting the most out of it instead of just using it as a buzzword. So what we've done is we've launched this year. We launched our service called SIPPIO Beacon. SIPPIO Beacon is essentially, your one-stop tool for not only answering questions and getting a little bit more insight of, for your customers, but it also allows you to perform activities. So, for example, you can use SIPPIO Beacon to create an order instead of going to the orders page and clicking your customer country or whatever. You can just have a conversation with Beacon and have that order created for you. So that's kind of the direction we're going with AI is we want to make it not only, smart, but also very usable and useful. We want it to be a time saver and a revenue generator.
Okay.
If,
Yeah,
if you'd
let's
like, I can do a quick demo, yeah, of how to place an order just to show you how easy it is.
and what's great about it is I rarely create orders anymore myself because there's other people more equipped on the team to do that. But I think what is nice about it is if I had to do it, I could just ask it and I don't have to remember or stay up on the training, although I
Exactly.
do recommend staying up on the training.
So right now, I'm basically just asking Beacon if I can create an order for a particular customer. So I asked, can I create an order for this customer? So now it's going to walk me through the steps. So we need a country. So we can hit US for United States. Then it's going to ask me what is the SKU or what is the plan that we want to activate. So in this case, I'm going to use our voice panel, sorry, Voice Connect product. So
And
we
what
just
if
put in the SKU there.
you didn't know the SKU?
You just put in the name. You can put in the name of the SKU. You can ask what SKUs are available for this particular customer. It would give you the list out, and then you can use it from there. So from here, it's going to ask whether it's going to be an activation or porting. So in this case, we want activation, let's say. And then finally, it's going to ask me what platform we want to use. So in this case, we want Teams Operator Connect. So now once it has all the information, it's going to do a couple seconds of thinking, and it's going to ask the quantity. So let's say we want 10 seats. Now it's going to give us essentially a rundown or a summary of everything that we ordered. And then with one click, we will have that quote created. There we go. So that's our partner. That's the name. We got all the SKU information here. Once we click create quote, the system will automatically go through, create the quote for you, and we're done. So it turns all that clicking and all that into a simple conversation. Now, if you don't want to go through that whole list, you can even do it in one statement if you'd like. So for example,
Yeah,
here, let me
that's
just
what
make
I
this
would do.
bigger.
I would ask it everything I could think of all at one time.
Yeah. So here we can say I want to place an order for this customer in the US for 10 of the Voice Connect SKUs, activation, Operator Connect. So you can put it just all in one phrase, and then it's going to do the exact same thing. So you don't have to go through the step by step. There's our quote. Click on create quote, and off we go.
Okay. Now, I know I'm not supposed to ask questions I don't know the answer to, but I'm hoping that Beacon knows the answer to it. So, could I ask it to suggestive sell add-ons?
From here, yes. So we've once the order is placed, Beacon will take an inventory of essentially all your customers and the subscriptions that they have. So you can ask it questions like, I'm in my demo customer now, so I'm not sure if it's going to be
That's okay.
it's going to work because there's a lot of demo information in there and test information. But you can actually essentially ask it of all my customers, who doesn't have text messaging that I can offer it to, or who doesn't have analytics that I can offer it to. And then, of course, it would give you that list, and you can start that conversation with those partners or customers.
Yeah. So, great add-ons that we're
Yeah.
seeing, believe it or not, are eFax.
Hmm.
So, if you have customers that you haven't explored their faxing needs, oldie but a goodie.
It's never going away, apparently.
I know. It's really funny. Adam always makes jokes about that, that you're living in the 1980s if you're
Yeah,
still doing faxing, but it's 2025 and a lot of people are. So
absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
easy add-on. And then text messaging is a really easy add-on. So if you don't know who has what, as George just explained, you can go into our portal and call up Beacon and start asking it some questions about your customer base. And then from there, you could utilize the different resources and assets that we have in our library and
Hmm.
create yourself a little marketing campaign or an email script, something like that, to push out to those customers and socialize, what you're intending to offer with them, and see if you can create some upsell opportunities. So
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
great thing to do this holiday season because the fiscal and calendar year is coming to a close. And if you are looking to close the gap in your quota, that's a really easy, quick thing to do. And then the implementation of eFax and Clerk Chat and some of the recording offerings that we have are pretty low in terms of the footprint or the overhead and getting them implemented. So you can get them implemented and start billing in 2025 before the calendar year rolls over. So that's just my plug. I'll never take my sales and marketing hat off. So very good. And then another thing I just wanted to hit on, because Microsoft Ignite is happening this week, is Copilot. And you probably will be hearing more and more and more out of Microsoft talking about Copilot because it's one of their fastest selling products ever in the history of Microsoft. The one prior to this was Halo, believe it or not, which is a Xbox game. And people are always looking for reasons to justify either purchasing Copilot or rounding out the ROI of Copilot. And if you think about what Copilot does and what it can see that you're doing each and every day, from text messaging to meetings to file sharing and other things that you do, voice is really that last frontier, that last mile of getting a full view or picture of a person, of a team, of a department, of a company, of your customer base or their customer base. So if your customers are looking for justification around Copilot, voice can be a really nice intermittent step between where they're at today and where they're going with the adoption of Microsoft phone system or Zoom phone in order to get down the path of using those AI tools. Zoom has their AI built into their platform, so it's not, at least today, a standalone thing that also has to be purchased, but getting your Zoom customers to utilize the phone and not just the meeting is a really important step to then leverage their AI tools to analyze and critique and give suggestions and all that to people that are engaging with others either internally or externally via phone. So now let's move to future. That's kind of future a little bit, but that's more about Microsoft
Yeah.
and Zoom and how we can help with that. But George, I know you always like to talk about not only what we're doing in here now, but you've created a roadmap and some of the blueprints for 2026. So
Yeah.
let's talk about what some of our big themes are for 2026 and where we're going, what you're planning.
Yeah, absolutely. So we definitely are going to be improving Beacon. SIPPIO Beacon is going to get a little bit more love in 2026. We're going to be expanding it so that you'll be able to speak to it with your voice, not just type. It will also talk back to you. We're also going to make it a little bit more omnipresent versus you summoning it. So, I mean, think of, I don't know if you guys remember Clippy, just not as annoying as Clippy, but kind of like
I
Clippy.
always use
Um,
the dog
the little
version.
guy in the corner, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're having difficulty placing an order or anything like that, it'll be right there, ready to go for you to ask it questions, for you to actually do the activity for you. So we want to make it a little bit more intuitive that way, so that any potential question that you have, you can get that answer immediately right through Beacon instead of having to open a ticket or make a phone call or anything like that. I mean, really the goal is to take what take the improvements that we made in 2025 with speed to market and scale and really improve upon those in 2026. So that also includes expanding our automation. So right now in the US, we have new number activations, porting, and toll-free completely automated. So as I was saying, you can go from placing a quote, creating a quote, to having a live number with dial tone all within less than 5 minutes. We want to bring that same experience to the rest of the world. So our first two markets that we're going to be concentrating on are Canada and the UK. From there, we're going to be expanding out to EMEA. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a big one that's coming in 2026, and we're really, really excited for that. That's going to mean not only faster ordering and faster getting your monthly revenue faster, but that also means a better customer experience. So less rejections, the ability to actually go in and select your number, select a range, select a vanity number, little things like that that you kind of take for granted when you're ordering services, to make that just as easy and seamless for the rest of the world.
Yeah, yeah, and I know one of the things that our sales team has asked for um, to utilize Beacon for and to provide more value to the partners that are using our system for quoting and ordering is also around RFPs and proposals.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I told you we were going to talk about that today, but could you talk a little bit about some of your vision
Yeah.
as we're putting that vision down on paper of what we'd like to roll out in 2026 around those two pieces?
Yeah, absolutely. So um, we'll split that into two. So we have the RFP piece. So with RFPs, as you know, you get asked a ton of questions, security
Mhm.
questions, back end questions, accounting questions. I mean, you name it. So what our plan is for that, to help our partners answer those questions, is we already have a really useful feature called the library feature. And what the library feature allows you to do, I don't know if everyone knows this, but it actually allows you to create your own document library. So you can put in all of your own documents, and now this is in your own SharePoint. You're not actually uploading anything over to SIPPIO. You can put your own documents in your own library, and then the plan is to train Beacon to view those documents so that you can actually ask Beacon those questions. It will pull the information from those documents, provide those answers to those RFPs for you, so that you're not, scrambling around on this document, this spreadsheet, that spreadsheet. Put everything in one place, ask Beacon those questions, and it will be able to provide those answers for you. Now, when we move over to proposals, we're looking to actually integrate the special quotes feature. So that's almost like a proposal builder into Beacon as well. So you'll be able to ask Beacon to create this proposal. You'll give it all the information. It will ask you if there's anything missing, build that proposal for you so that it's ready to go, so that you don't actually have to go in and click here, click there. Now, the nice thing with doing it with Beacon is that Beacon might be able to give you ideas that you don't even think of. If you're offering a couple of different voice plans, it might suggest, what about a text messaging plan? We notice that you're adding, 1,000 lines. Is this for a call center? Do you need reporting or analytics or anything like that? So it will help you along the way as you're building out that proposal to maximize, the revenue for that particular proposal as much as possible.
Yeah, and what I love about the RFP piece of it, it's generally the same questions over and over and over again. And
Exactly.
you're typing that answer, you're going and finding the old document of the last one that you did
Yeah.
6 months ago. And maybe you have to change the answer a little bit. So, what we'll be putting in our repository, our data repository, are the right answers. So,
Yeah.
you can always find the latest and greatest and the right answer of
Exactly.
what is new and what is applicable. I saw a proposal not too long ago for an RFP response, which somebody said, "Oh, we're in 72 countries." I'm like, "Well, it's been 84 for a
Yeah.
year." So it's just those little nits to make sure that everything is putting its best foot forward for you and saving a
Exactly.
lot of time. And I know I have always kind of shied away from RFPs because they're time consuming, but
Yeah.
this will make it less time consuming and probably increases your chance to win it because you can really lean into what the customer is asking for, and do an overhaul and customize it for that customer, and then put it into a proposal framework or document that's really nice and professional
Yeah.
looking. So,
Exactly.
all right. So we have some questions that we looked at that were submitted that were just one-offs, but I thought we'd want to give everybody some insight into some of these questions. So we had one question about Beacon, which you've talked about what we're going to do in 2026. Maybe rather than talking about what it can do, why don't you talk about what control a partner would have over Beacon as an admin or as a user of it to either be on the page, not on the page,
Yeah.
helping, not helping, etc.
Absolutely, yeah. So just like with essentially all of our features, we like to make sure that the portal is built for you. So you have the power to add beacon, remove beacon to any user that you see fit. So for example, if you're a partner admin and you want your end customers or even some of your own personnel to have access to beacon, you have full control over that. I think we're at over 200 different permissions, so that you can really go in and customize not only the look and feel, but also the functionality of the portal to suit who's using it. So if you have someone that's basically just going in and placing orders all day, you can cater that their user experience so that the portal is concentrated just on that. There's no extra fluff around there. They can really focus on what they're doing. And we do the same thing with Beacon.
Yeah, well, that's always a hard balance is
Yeah,
as you add more and more features, the audience for those features is going to be quite different across
yeah,
different roles at a partner or at a carrier or at a customer. And one of the other things that came up in the way of a question, which I think is also some feedback, is, are there more plans to allow more customization or changes to the UI so that the partner can manage their workflows better?
Yeah, actually, we're always looking to improve. I mean, um, I personally have an open door policy for anyone that has any suggestions or feedback. It's actually built right into the portal. Let me show you real quick here. So here's the portal again. If anyone has any suggestions or suggestions for features or criticism or they just want to compliment me, I'll take that too. We can go over to support here and just click on the feedback button. Here you can give us all the feedback that you need. You can even attach screenshots, video, designs, wireframes, whatever you want to do. And I read these every day. This isn't just, a suggestion that's going to get dropped in a box and then, get pushed in the corner. I read these all the time, and actually a lot of the feature and functionality that we've launched this year came as a direct result from customer feedback and partner feedback. So I really do take that seriously, and I really do love when we get that feedback because we're creating the portal to be a useful tool. And getting feedback from the people that actually use it is, I mean, more valuable than gold to me. So keep those suggestions coming. You might see your suggestion come up in the next release.
Yeah. Show me two other things while we're in here.
Sure.
We just talked about assigning certain functions or
hmm
capabilities to a certain user. How does
hmm
the admin do that, and where do they go?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we go over here to our user access section. So this will give you all the users for your particular for the particular partner. In this case, I'm just going to go to one of mine here just to show you what can and can't be done. So let's go over here. Oops, sorry, wrong user. That's the one. So let's go into Bali Telecom here. Bali Telecom, I don't know if as everyone knows, is just our demo carrier that we use. So here are all the different permissions that you can actually apply to a user. So as you can see, it's split up into different sections, and then within those sections, you have things that they can or can't do. So for example, let's go over to orders. So from here, view orders, buy numbers, access to the message center, the ability to provision add-on services, updating orders. So you can really fine tune the user experience for each individual user. Another thing that's actually coming in 2026 is a fully functional and fully featured persona functionality. So you can set, for example, a persona for your salespeople, a persona for your engineers, a persona for your support people. And as you add those users on, simply apply that persona to that user. If you want to change the persona, you can change it and it'll start applying to all the users in that group to make that to manage and maintain your users a lot easier as well.
Okay, so if you're hiring a new salesperson, you can just say, make them like Steve, who's already
Exactly.
a salesperson, and you don't have to think about it and remember all the little check boxes
Right.
to check. Okay. Then one of the other things I wanted to see was the customization of the portal interface, the
Mhm.
white labeling piece.
Yeah. So a couple of things that we can do with the portal is number one, we can change the logo up here to be your logo. So you would just go into the profile, you click on edit, and then we can, I'm not going to remove this because it's the SIPPIO site, but you can add your own logo right here, and that way your logo will appear in the corner. What else we can do is if we go over to the configure section here, we have our partner portal URL configuration. What this will do is you can actually change this top URL to be whatever you'd like. You enter your desired URL here. You click on check availability. Number one, we check to make sure that the name is available. And then if it is, we provide you with a TXT and CNAME value, all via automation. You have to put that into your DNS, and then that's it. You can change this now. You can change this URL to be whatever you'd like. Now in 2026, we're also going to be working on ways to add themes to the portal. So for example, if you wanted to put in a CSS layer on top with your colors, your fonts, your logos, images, whatever, you'll be able to do that as well. So we're really keeping that in mind as we build out the rest of the portal in 2026.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool and gives a lot of flexibility to people that might want to make this their own
Yeah.
or using the APIs integrated
Exactly.
into another system that they have. The next question is like really specific to text messaging,
Hmm.
and they want to know if they can use the messaging features for bulk SMS, marketing blasts, or is it strictly designed for one-on-one communication?
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, you can send bulk SMSs, huge marketing blasts. I mean, we catered our text messaging plans to accommodate, every use case. So for example, we have our starter plan, which is, just if you want to send a couple messages a month, let's say. Then we have our unlimited plan. This is for users that want to send, company-wide. They want all they're sending maybe, a couple hundred messages a month. And then we have our pro plan really allows you to get, crazy with text messaging. You can send marketing blasts to hundreds, even thousands of users all at once. You can send bulk SMSs. Really, the sky's the limit. So absolutely. In short, yes, you can absolutely do bulk SMS or marketing blasts.
Yeah, so a good leading question here when you're talking to your customers, if you're looking for upsell opportunities, is find out what are they using today for appointment reminders?
Yep.
Are they still doing, email? Are they still making calls out? Do they have a text messaging platform? That's something that could easily be integrated. And then also, greater marketing communications. You may even want to test it in Q4 if you're looking to upsell with some of your own stuff by utilizing it and drink your own champagne there.
Yeah.
Yep. The next thing is a technical question about opening up more API endpoints
Hmm.
that want for partners that want to build their own dashboards. I don't understand the word endpoints, but I'll let you talk about APIs and what's planned.
Yeah, absolutely. So our platform is, I mean, API based. Anytime we build a new feature or functionality, we build that API first. I think this is a big, um, an important differentiator from us. So essentially, what that means is any single activity, feature, functionality that you can do in the portal, there's an API available for that. So we really give you the choice of how you want to consume the platform. Do you want to use our ready-made GUI where you can place orders, manage and maintain your services all in one screen? You're absolutely able to do that. Do you want to take bits and pieces of the platform and integrate it into your own platform, into your own backend, into your own front end, into your own CRM system? Doesn't matter. You're absolutely able to do that with the flexibility of APIs. I mean, we have large international and national carriers that don't want to use our portal, but still want to use our platform. So in those cases, they take our APIs, plug them into their backend so that their portal is exactly the same. They don't need to retrain their personnel for using a new platform, a new portal, but in the backend, everything is connected up to us. So they're utilizing our APIs with their front end. So I think that really makes our platform very customizable. And yeah, and it really suits the need for all our partners.
Right. And some simpler examples of when you may use an API if you're a partner and you don't want to have your own interface or your own app is just utilizing the API to take the billing data, for instance, and feeding it
Yeah.
into your own ERP system or whatever you're using to bill your customers. Or if you wanted to create some type of value added reporting that you might
Hmm.
give to them, you can just suck that data out of our system with the API, put it into whatever you might have, and really give some value added information
Yeah.
to your customer. All right, here's the last question, George, as we come to the end of our time together. So, in your opinion, what
Hmm.
is one of the features in SIPPIO that you think is probably underutilized,
Hmm.
not loved, but offers really, really good value that you would encourage people to take a look at?
That is a great question. You know what? Probably the library feature, I'd say. it's easier if I show. So we all
Okay.
know on the portal here, we have our library feature. Now, the library contains marketing material, sales material, but this is really, SIPPIO centric. What a lot of people maybe don't know is that you can actually create your own document library right in the portal. If we go over here to our edit page, over to configure, we have a library configuration section here. What this will do is it will walk you through how to set up your Azure environment and your SharePoint to connect up the portal to it. So you can create your own document library. You can have your brochures in there. You can have documents that you need customers to look at or sign in there, email blasts, images, whatever you want. And then you can take that library and make it available to your partners and customers as well. So not only do you have your place, one stop for all your documents, but then you can provide those documents to your partners and your end customers as well. I think this is a really powerful feature that I don't think a lot of people even know exists. And I mean, take advantage. It's included in the platform, and you can essentially curate your own document library.
Yeah, that's really neat, and especially if you're building some of your own SKUs
Hmm.
in RCPQ. This could be a way to tie those SKUs together with the information that's needed around your managed services offer or professional services, other things that you might be selling through here. That's really important. And then in terms of the materials that are available in this library
Hmm.
that SIPPIO creates, we have those branded as SIPPIO, but you're always welcome to take any of those documents and create a copy of it and customize it for your own needs, co-brand it, white label, whatever it is that you want. And if there's some type of material that you need or you regularly use in your business with your customers that you don't see, feel free to drop that into the suggestion box or
Yep.
send that feedback up through your account manager so that we can have our marketing team take a look at it and create it for you. We really want you to be doing as little overhead and administrative work as possible so that you can focus on selling and giving really good customer service to your customers. So with that, we're going to kind of go through a wrap up. George, this is wonderful. Thanks for taking us through it.
My pleasure.
What I would remind you, if you're a partner here today and you haven't seen some of these features or you haven't been in the portal lately, go log in. Just take a little tour, see what's new in the updates for the CPQ. Try out Beacon, ask it a bunch of random questions for fun. And if you need more help with the portal and accessing it and understanding it, we are starting a every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time standing meeting that you can get access to via our website and ask the experts. So there'll be people there each Wednesday at 2 o'clock. You can just jump on and be like, hey, I'm kind of stuck on this. Or can you give me a tour of that? Or I haven't really seen anything about Navigator, or I need help with an auto attendant. We're trying to make that really, really intuitive. But if you want some hand holding and some training or just an overview, log in there. The other invitation I'll give you as kind of a closing or a call to action is if you're not really thinking about how voice increases the value or the ROI for Copilot and Zoom AI and other things like that, we'd love to talk with you. We have a whole talk track around it that really can mature your value proposition that you're delivering to your customers from a telephony, voice, old school type of pitch into something that aligns with the modern and the intelligent workforce and utilizing all of the tools that collaboration platforms and AI are delivering to the market today. Um, there's not too much I do without asking Copilot every single day, whether it's business or personal. And I think integrating that into your talk tracks shows your customers that you're leaning in either to their here and now because they're using it, or their future because they're planning to get to it someday. There's a lot of different comments and commentary in the industry about AI. People don't always understand it. They may be overutilizing the buzzword of what it is. There's a lot of talk about failed AI projects. So come talk to us. We'd love to talk to you about it and help educate you and streamline a conversation that you might want to have with your customers to stay ahead of the curve. So with that, George, I'll thank you again for your time, and we will kind of wrap up and get on with the day. So have a
Sounds
good
good.
one, and thanks to everybody that listened in and participated today. We really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Domri. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
All
Until next
right.
time.